Well, hello everyone, and welcome to the Arizona Native Plant Society Botany 2021 meeting. We're very pleased to have you attending again remotely as we did last year, and we hope we'll be able to present you with some neat stuff about Arizona native plants. Okay, well, this is what I'd like to just go over for our introduction here for about 15 or 20 minutes. I'm going to talk a little bit about the Arizona Native Plant Society and the various points that you can see there, such as organization, some of the things we do, our publications, website, the activities that we engage in, and then finally talk a little bit about some of the really neat work that has been done by our committees, two in particular. We have several committees, but particularly the education and outreach are the ones I'd like to say a little bit in detail on. So the Arizona Native Plant Society was established in 1977. Our mission is to promote knowledge, appreciation, conservation, and restoration of America's native plants and their habitats. The way we're organized is we actually have a number of chapters, and there you can see them. The newest one is the Upper Gila chapter, which is only a couple years old. And I guess the oldest one is probably Tucson. That's where things started here. But we're spread out across the state quite nicely, as you can see. So each of those locations has a local chapter. They hold meetings and engage in activities that deal with native plants. So one of the things that kind of a big thing that the Native Plant Society does is we have several publications. The biggest one of which is the Plant Press Arizona. And down in the lower right-hand corner is the most recent issue, which was from last spring of this year. And we're right now on the brink of coming out with the winter issue. We only do 2 a year, but we have a spring and a fall winter issue. And so the fall winter issue is about ready to be finalized. There are many opportunities for finding out about things native plant-wise in the journals, and I would commend them to you. I would also ask if any of you have any ideas for things that could go into the plant press. That would be very welcome, believe me. So just contact me, or Rice Lindley is the co-editor. He and I are co-editors of this thing and have been doing that for some time. Let's see here. Our one other publication is in the lower left-hand corner, and that's Happenings, which is our quarterly newsletter that goes to all the members that describes the activities that are planned for the next 3 months. Primarily things that the chapters are doing. Each chapter has a section in there. But other society-wide activities are, of course, publicized in there as well. We also have, thanks to some very conscientious work by primarily our conservation committee, and in a large extent, John Shearing, the chairman of that, we've published several brochures over the years on various native plant issues, such as this one on the Fountaingrass problem, which is a very serious invasive species that been dealing with for a number of years. And this was part of a public education effort to put out a brochure alerting people to the problems with this thing. We've done others over the years, but this is the most recent one. Okay, I'm just going to say a quick word. We have a really nice website that's improving daily, thanks to a lot of work by our website committee. And this has been going on, actually, some real significant improvements to this over the last couple of years. And I think you'll find this is a great source of information about native plants on many different levels. Okay, activities. Well, we do lots of fun little things. Each chapter typically has a monthly meeting. Sometimes they can't, there are problems when they can't meet, but typically we have monthly meetings with speakers on lots of interesting topics. And of course, field trips are a big deal for people like us. So those are very popular, and chapters typically lead those to places in their region. Another thing that's really been very, very enjoyable and has been going on for a number of years is the annual field trip and workshop to the Chiricahua Mountains. This is something that's become somewhat of a tradition in the society. And the idea behind it is to form up for a 3-day long weekend over in the Chiricahua Mountains, using as our base the Southwestern Research Station, which is just an excellent facility where they provide all our meals and accommodations as well, ranging from just campsites to really nice little casitas. So it's a very pleasant place to stay. And of course, it's set in just a absolutely magnificent area. So we meet there for basically 3 days and we go on field trips. We have lectures at night. During the day, we'll go out and collect plants. We bring them back in the evening. And here you see Lynn Lovelace and Sue Carnahan. And gosh, the other person there.
Deb Sparrow.
Yes, Deb Sparrow. Thank you. So they're working on these collections that we bring back, and people can fiddle around with them and figure out what they have collected and so forth. And it's just a real lot of fun. People come with their families, and it's very enjoyable and very pleasant because everything's taken care of. We just live at the station at night. They have a nice laboratory and a lecture hall, and it's a great place to meet. Unfortunately, thanks to the good old pandemic, 2020 was canceled as it was this year. The station was just not prepared to accommodate groups while the pandemic's on. So I got it booked. We typically have it over like Labor Day weekend or in that general area, early part of September. And we do have it tentatively booked for 2022. So we'll keep our fingers crossed and hope that things have improved so enough that we can go there next year. Okay, annual botany meetings, that's what we're doing right now, is a long tradition. This happens to be the 18th one, consecutive one that is being held. And these are an opportunity under normal circumstances to go to some interesting part of the state and participate in a day-long meeting of presentations and so forth, and socialize and have dinner and all that kind of stuff. So the last one before the pandemic hit was in Graham County near Safford at the Eastern Arizona College, and that's where these photos were taken. The speaker at this that you see here is good old Dr. Felger, who passed away sadly about a year ago. But anyway, those are a real nice opportunity to get out, go to an interesting place. We try to hold them all over in different places in the state. But again, we haven't done that. Will be for 2 years now, but hopefully next year we'll be able to do it in person. And with in conjunction with the meetings, the first day is our papers and so forth. And then the second day, we always have an array of 2 or 3 different nice field trips that people can go on. This is from 2019, and one of the field trips was up into the Petaluma Mountains. And there's the group staring up at none other than a Mount Graham red squirrel, which is, you may know, very rare and endemic to Mount Graham. We had a person who worked for the Forest Service who fortunately was able to help us find this little guy. All right, committees, I'll just say a few words about them. And as I said, there are other committees, but the two most active ones that are involved with the most activities is the Education and Outreach and the Conservation Committee. The Education and Outreach has done a lot of really important and very valuable work in providing training to our members on various aspects of botany, starting with just kind of basic introductory botany through as part of a larger effort, which is known as the Plant Atlas Project of Arizona. And the Native Plant Society participates in that program by offering, first of all, a one-day sort of Botany 101 turbocharged, where we go through the whole business of botany in one day and cover some of the really basic features of it, including as an important part of plant identification. And then after that training is done, we sponsor, as part of the PAPAS project, field trips. Individuals can then choose an area where they might want to go out and study, and as sort of a formal project area under the PAPAS program. And they can either do that independently or in groups with other people. We in the Tucson chapter have done, before I leave the PAPAS, of course, that's been difficult. So what with the pandemic, of course. But unbelievably, the Upper Gila chapter was able to actually conduct a remote PAPAS class earlier this year. So Kara Barron is to be commended for setting that whole thing up and running it for about 45 students. And these are very, very popular. So people can sign up for those and participate. Hopefully we won't have to do them remotely anymore, but who knows? And other courses we've done, actually primarily through the Tucson chapter that I'm aware of. I know there are others like up in Flagstaff and Phoenix that have done some, but I'll just mention some that I'm very familiar with, such as here at Tucson. This is at the University of Arizona Herbarium, which very graciously makes the facilities available to us with all their equipment and everything. And we've done classes there on grass identification, one on just general flowering plant families, and also another one on, let's see what else, the sunflower family. So we did one on the Asteraceae that just focused on that family. Okay, so we'll be publicizing these more as we get ramped up. The U of A herbarium's been totally shut down. You have to have practically a note from the president to get in there. But anyway, hopefully that will be opening up soon. So I just want to say the Conservation Committee is done some tremendous work in, guess what, conservation. And this is due in many respects to John Shearing, who was the chairman of the committee. I'll just quickly mention a couple of things. A very recent project was a huge effort to eradicate, deal with buffalo grass invasions on A Mountain in Tucson, which is a famous landmark there. The Conservation Committee has also dealt with another very nasty invasive species, Fountaingrass. I showed you that brochure that they had prepared for that. And this shows some of the types of work that they've done where they've been able to eradicate it and try and control it, and also to make the public aware of how the problems of planting this darn thing as an ornamental plant. And finally, I'll just mention a huge project that John and the Conservation Committee have been working on for many years, Waterman Mountain Restoration Project, where they've restored a badly damaged and degraded area, working in cooperation with the BLM, who actually owns the land, and other conservation groups, including, for example, the Tucson Cactus and Succulent Society, who recently got involved with this as well. Those are just some examples of some of the things that the Conservation Committee's been working on very effectively. This is a sign out at the site at the Watermans that shows over time the restoration results. Okay, so I think I hopefully have a minute or two left. I wanted to just quickly go over the program, real quickly. I should point out that a detailed copy of the agenda is available on the website. If you haven't received it one way or another, You can easily get it there. And that has all the information about the speakers, an abstract of their talks and so forth. So there's a lot of information on there that you could go back and refer to if you want to get more information on that. But anyway, we decided the theme for this meeting would be Arizona native plants to the extreme, exploring the botanical diversity, ecology, adaptability, and resilience of Arizona's native plants. And we chose that because of all the unpleasant things that have been going on drought-wise and so forth, even though that improved drastically during the monsoon season. But we thought we'd kind of focus a little bit on how resilient plants are and some of the neat things that they do to survive. So anyway, we're going to start the meeting in a minute or two, the serious part, with Jim Alusa talking about a plant that got some stress to it, Oleum Gooding's onion, and he's going to talk about the effects of the Bighorn fire on that. Then I'll just mention the rest of the evening is going to be posters, which is this new thing. And here you see we have 4 posters. And then we'll have Diane Kelly in the evening talking about the website, as I mentioned.